All right, so we have over 1,000 people signed up as volunteers. Many of them, we're calling them all precinct organizers this year. That includes our precinct delegates. And that also includes the people who just have signed up to do 1 or 2 turfs, but they're still now going to be in contact with us for all the other things that we are going to come up with them to do. So since we got started, we have had very minimum 107,000 voter contacts, because that does not count everything that went either through WAVE or through people's individual accounts with the materials we've used. But this is just a rough idea. The door-to-door represents those door hangers that we put out with how to vote absentee and how to find your clerk, okay? So we are hoping that more people will sign up. See, even with 1,000 people roughly out in the field, there are still areas that are uncovered. If C Township really needs extra help, we can still take people, and this is where you would sign up. You'll find it on the website or on our Facebook page. Okay. Here is a little insight. Here they came in. The area captains. So that's what's unique about our structure this year is that Ed Sanders, Sandy Levitsky, and Liz Schaefer have put together a structure like VNP had for the Prop 2. And so we have 15, well, no, we have more than 15 because some of them are co-captains, including Loretta, who's here today. And they come and get the guides and separate them into the appropriate amounts, and then they spread them out to their precinct organizers. There they go. Okay, let me just check back at my notes. Okay, yeah, so the other unique thing that our team came up with, which is just amazing, is they now have what they call a virtual campaign office. So when somebody's finished up their turfs, they need to get more turfs, and their area captain might be at work or otherwise engaged or out themselves. And we have people staffing a virtual campaign office, which you can connect with through your area captain. So you can get new turfs as quickly as possible. Some of the areas in Washtenaw have so many people that they can really only get 1 or 2 turfs close to home. But we are hoping that they will all then pivot to go out to the areas where we weren't able to get as many volunteers. And the virtual campaign office will help that happen. Okay, we have done a lot of other stuff besides just the regular structure. As I'm saying, this year's effort has had a lot of challenges, not being able to go out in person. We've had a huge recruiting effort, which was Erica Terry with that amazing Orion volunteer management system that she designed for us, and the area captains. But we've also seen that there's still a lot of confusion among voters about all the new rules. So adopting absentee voting, there's a lot of steps and it's not always clear. It's amazing the questions we get every day. So with Teresa Reed, we've put a lot of thought into developing messaging, and that's what these are here. If you look on our election resources page, on the first page of the website, you'll see a big banner, and you just click on that and you will get to this page where you can have the virtual version of the voter guide. Well, it's, for the moment, it's still a PDF, but we actually have another wonderful volunteer, Charles Roth, that Ed found us, who is within a day or two should have up a proper digital version with links and everything that will work on telephones, because the one we have is not that great on a telephone. And now we're saying, why didn't we think of that a little sooner? But you know, there's been a lot of moving parts. So these are some of the different infographics that you would find on that election resource page. You have to look for the links. We did a lot of work at the farmers market with Karen, putting out a call for people to be poll workers. And as it happens, this actually happens every time, but even with an increased number of poll workers that they're hiring, Washtenaw County no longer needs any Democratic poll workers. If you know of Republicans who are willing to come in, then they might be able to hire a few more Democrats, but they have to have parity. So it's a little tricky. However, you can also go to other counties. I signed up to go to Detroit, actually. So Another big thing that we did was create a resource for all the drop boxes and county and clerks' offices in the county. So at this link, you will find an interactive PDF that shows you who's your clerk, what's their hours are. There's a picture of the drop box and very complete information. Here's Dexter. Now, a lot of the tricky things, you know, you do a lot of this sort of behind the scenes work, but getting it out so that people know about it and are able to use it is not that easy. We do it through the newsletter and through Facebook, but it would really help if everybody listening takes the time to, if you can stand Facebook, go visit and like our page and start sharing those posts, because that's how the information circulates a lot these days. And you can also send it directly to people that you know, through your mailing list. Another big thing that we did just recently, in the voter guide, the printed voter guide for lack of resources, we only do a listing of our endorsed candidates and the people on our Democratic candidates once you get down to a lot of the local races. And we've just created 3 pages of local election resources where we put in all of everyone who gave us pictures and statements. So on the website, you can also go to that. That's what it looks like here. And these links here are interactive, so you can go straight to the areas you're looking at, you're interested in. There's 3 pages like that. Anything else? Okay, Dropbox. So yeah, we worked very closely this year with Adam Zemke and Jennifer Fairfield to try and help coordinate the production so that we get the timing right. There's always things that come up. There was another printer hitch, so it's been a little bit later than we wanted, but we've made a lot of progress on that. And as I'm saying here, with the mobile friendly one will be up really soon. And just so you know, as Gretchen mentioned, putting out the voter guide in the 7th district, we've actually made 3, they have actually, that was not our part, we were just following this process, but based on the basic bones of our voter guide, Brian Greminger and other people put together versions for the 12th district Dems, which is the Wayne Carty part, and then the 7 counties of Lenawee of the 7th district. Oh, I'm tired. Okay. All right, so I mentioned that about getting the information out. Greg Hafer is our communications chair. He's been like super helpful, hours of work to help to make this all happen for the local candidates as well. So we said that, and we're just so grateful for our fundraising people, Doug Scott and Jeff McGrew, and also Karen Costumo, who has brought in an amazing amount at the farmer's market with the signs and buttons and everything. So stickers, all of that stuff is done really, really well. So we're really, really grateful that we were able to fund all of this. So what do we do next? Once the guides are out, we still have lots of people who want to do lots of things. Everybody wants to make sure this works this year, that we would have a sane and decent government that works on safety and well-being of people. So we're still not going to do ourselves a traditional knock on doors GOTV, but we are doing phone banks and text banks and more wave emails to help people be sure that those ballots get in. We do have, I forgot to write it down, but we have the Ride to the Polls. We're not actually organizing it in the same way this year, but we are connecting people to volunteers who are willing to give rides. We don't expect there will be a lot of those, and they will be this year spread out. It won't be all a big flurry on election day. So we're not recruiting tons of people to do it. We don't expect a huge demand, but we do have people available who will do it as needed. And of course, poll greeting is going to be the next big push. Jane Foreman has it all set up to run shifts at most of the polling stations, and we've got the poll greeter card all ready to go. And we've just heard that the Biden campaign, which is, for those who aren't familiar, also the Michigan Dems One campaign, and they are going to distance door knocking. So for volunteers who are up for that, that's a very good option. Many people will not want to do that. So we have the phone making, cold greeting for people who want like limited exposure, but still to be out there. There is an election protection program that we can connect people to. And we are also looking for other things, what else we might want to do. So any thoughts or questions are welcome.